Hello all you beautifully simple-minded people like myself. I am Dale Rodman Jr. III and this is Slow to Pro, the video series where we go from slow to slowly finding our way. This is round number 4 of Zealous Racing League's 12th season, and it's the mid-season crown jewel race at Kyalami. So it's 80-minute race, it's worth double the points. We got 34 cars in the mix, so we're starting in P32, and it's time for the green flag. Reminder again that in the bottom left, there in the black and white number badges, they tell us what class each car is in. White number badges are the fast fellas, and the black badges are us, for people like us, slow people who don't practice enough or at all. Entering what is technically turn 2, on the inside everything goes nice and easy as it typically does, but as we come up the hill here, all hell breaks loose. Cars off on the left, cars off on the right, and we're going to gain a whole hell of a lot of positions there. Going to go all the way from P32 up to P19 once the HUD realizes what the hell just happened. That little shindig took out a good amount of the people that we would have been competing with here early in the race. So we're about 45 seconds into this bastard, and it's basically already a cruising time. Like that time we were cruising to 400 subscribers and our good friend Sean was like, whoa, did he just say my name? And it was all because of Sean clicking subscribe and like that we got to 400. That was a cool time. But yeah, so the race continued on like this, exactly as you see it, for the next 10 minutes or so, until here we are on lap number 7. We've got 2 of those white number badge boys coming up behind me. Gonna take it extra wide here. Gonna let one of them through. Gonna go ahead and let the second one of them through too. Why not? Let's make it easy for both those fellas. They can continue having their race. Drops us down to P20 overall, but we don't lose any in-class positions, so championship-wise, that's no difference at all. Let's go ahead and skip now to the start of lap number 10. Got 2 cars from each class duking it out through technically turn 2. The white Lamborghini has a bit of a moment, and I think maybe I'll be able to sneak up the inside, but no sir. He's got that Lamborghini back under control, back into the correct gear, and he's got the inside to the next turn, so yeah. We don't gain anything from it, but it was exciting nonetheless. Let's go ahead and skip on ahead now. Here we are, lap number 11, going through the exact same turn. I let the Ferrari through some point earlier, and they just have a bit of a moment, come sweeping across, and got a tiny bit of front end damage, but that's probably nothing in comparison to what they're dealing with, so I won't complain too much. Let's go ahead and skip on ahead. Here we are on lap number 13. I had noticed Mr. Mosley closing the gap by several seconds each lap and decided, let me take it wide, let him through, and I'll see what pans out when he passes the Lamborghini in front of me. So let's go ahead and skip ahead to see how it did pan out. Headed into the S's on lap number 14. These knuckleheads are side by side, and I'm frothing at the mouth, hoping that an incident is going to occur. And it's almost as though I control the universe, because as we come up the hill into the hairpin, an incident is going to occur. Lamborghini misses the braking point, and I scoop up 2 free positions, puts us up into P19 for the moment. Let's go ahead and skip ahead and see what happens next. Here we are on the start of lap number 18. We've put about a 4-second gap to that Lamborghini, and now we're creeping up, catching up to this McLaren by Mr. Beaudry. We're going to take an inside line and hope we can stick it on the brakes and get this car wrapped around the apex of this turn, and we are able to, thankfully. That puts us up into P17 overall. No idea what our position in class is. We will find out later. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the next bit of action. Here we are, lap number 36, way into the future after our mandatory pit stop. Mr. Mosley has caught us again after wishing that incident upon him, and we're going to run it wide, not on purpose here. I just suck. And because he's got a black number badge, not only did we lose a position overall, but we've lost a position in class. Let's go ahead and skip ahead 2 minutes in the future here. Try to take a bite from the cheetah. Cheetah take a bite from me. Off into the dirt I go. But luckily no contact with the walls, and it's late enough in the race. The gaps are built up big enough that we're only going to lose 1 position because of that little mistake. And if we skip ahead to the end of the race, we ended up finishing in P18 after letting another one of those white number badges through. That was good enough for P7 in class. This video is too short. Let's get into round number 5. Up first for me, we've got a double sprint. We got a 30-minute race followed by another 30-minute race here at Valencia, starting in P27 out of 33 total cars, and it's time for the green flag. Right off the bat, someone up front has an actual equipment failure, causes a pretty big wreck, and we got a man in a Porsche gonna come whipping right through. He doesn't slow down for wrecks, because we all know slowing down for wrecks that shit's for the birds. Anyway, heading through turn 1 now, and that Porsche is gonna meet the Lamborghini there. Gonna go off into La La Land, and now here we are in who knows what position because the HUD has yet to update. But we've got the inside line. We've got Mr. Pinio right on our tail in his ugly Porsche looking stupid. Most cars are down to single file, but we got a few of them in front of us still going door to door. So I'm trying to keep my focus in front of me to make sure that if anything funny happens, I don't get caught up in the joke. And in my rear view, I got Glenn yapping up my heels like a little dog. And then he's gonna take a dive bomb through this turn. I'm gonna have to let off the gas and check up because there's a little bit of an incident going there. Glenn finishes his dive bomb on me. I end up side by side with Mr. Rustin in his, what is that, a Gulf colored Lamborghini there it looks like. Anyway, heading through this next turn, I'm gonna get booty blasted. Turn sideways, and then thanks to Lenny, straighten right back out. Shout out Lenny, straightened me out quicker than that Christian conversion therapy that I had to go to when I was a child. That took a whole summer. Coming up here, Lenny's gonna give a little tippity tap to that McLaren, but the McLaren's gonna be able to keep it under control. Lenny then sends it wide, and I'm able to squeeze right up the inside, and I'm gonna peek over and say, hey Lenny, what's up? And then I'm gonna let off the gas because I don't want to go side by side to this next turn, especially because my car just got all fucked up and I don't know how good or bad it's gonna handle. So let's not risk it. That's the end of the opening lap. Let's go ahead and skip ahead now. Turn 2 of lap number 2. Get an alert that there's a slow car. It's Mr. Flores in his white McLaren there. He's gonna come back on just in time. Just in time. I thought I was gonna be able to sneak up the inside, but nope. Our move gets denied. Let's go ahead and skip ahead now to the end of this lap. We got Mr. Cruz cruising up around our outside in his Porsche. Gonna lose a position to him, but again, he's got a white number badge, so he's not really anybody that we're worried about losing a position to. We're gonna go ahead and just tuck behind, get in line, try to get some of that sweet draft action. And then as we approach the first turn, we're gonna get real nice and wide. Green and black BMW brakes a little bit more than I was anticipating. We shoot right at the inside, and it's a move that I wasn't anticipating, but it's a move done. Puts us up, you know, back into P26, and that's on somebody that has a black number badge, so that position actually counts for us. We'll take it. Over the next 10 minutes, we gained a few positions to cars that went off circuit, and if we skip ahead now, we find ourselves on the tail of a McLaren with Mr. Collis right behind us in his Porsche. And as we come into this next right hand, I'm gonna have a bit of a moment as I get onto the throttle, and it's not gonna get the power down quite good enough. It's going to open up a window for Mr. Collis to send it on through, and we will allow him that grace as he has done for us in the past. And we will live to fight another day. And if we skip ahead to the start of lap number 12 now, headed into turn number 2, Mr. Collis is going to have a moment, and I think this is a great opportunity for me to stuff my big fat bald head right up alongside him. Mr. Collis is going to go ahead and shut the goddamn door right on us, and I think, okay, all right buddy, I'll see you later. Let's go ahead and skip on ahead. Here we are at the end of lap number 13, headed into the final turn. Collis gonna jump across here, but can't quite get the car aimed back toward the apex in time. We're gonna swoop right up the inside. Makes for an easy pass, puts us right behind the McLaren now. And if we jump one lap into the future, we got more action again in the final turn. Mr. Alvarez in the McLaren, not quite able to get the apex there. Locks my exit. I'm able to just barely swerve to the left, almost send it all the way into the sand, and now here we are, 3 horses, 3 stallions, just screaming down the straight, 7.5 minutes to go, headed into turn 1. I bet on the inside line, Mr. Collis gonna go extra, double, triple wide, way out there into the paint. I'm gonna leave him some room to come back on. And we're gonna, you know, head right into turn 2 like nothing ever happened. Just as we were headed into the final turn. Like nothing matters, nothing at all. Why are we doing this? Why do we exist? Skip it ahead now to the final turn of this lap. Mr. Alvarez gonna have trouble again navigating this corner. We're gonna head right up the inside, makes for a very easy pass. But if we skip ahead now to the next lap, turn 2, I'm gonna screw the pooch, and it's gonna make for a very easy pass. And you can bet your behind that if we skip to the final turn of this lap, the McLaren is not gonna do the best thing, and I'm gonna not do the best thing either. I'm gonna get a track cut, go around the outside of him here. It's a little interesting way to do it, but it gets it done. Legal? Highly doubt it, but hey, at least us three stallions are still sprinting down the straight here, side by side, headed into turn 1. I'm gonna leave him the room because of course I have to. I don't want to, but I have to. And it's getting dicey, headed into turn 2 now. Collis is right behind us, waiting to pounce, just waiting. And I'm holding on for dear life, just trying to stay on the outside of this guy, but I can't. So we see the position again, tuck back in behind, and wait to see if we can't get another move on him at some point here soon. And if you guessed it would be in the final turn, well, you're playing the tune Rongo on the bongos, my friend. Let's skip ahead and find out where it happened. 2 minutes to go, here we are. Mclaren sends it just a little bit wide and then has a bit of a case of the spinsies once he gets on the power. Allows us to go right around and makes for an easy pass. Now all I gotta do is not screw up through these next series of turns. Made it through the dangerous right-hander, headed to the left-hander now to the final turn, and I think I'm clear as day, right? Nobody's gonna be. And then out of nowhere, just the lunge of the century. It was probably a pretty decent move, but in my head, I was a dog mom, and I'm very frustrated. I am not thrilled with this McLaren right now, and I'm thinking, ooh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm shaking my head and everything. I'm frustrated as all hell, and I'm willing to risk it all for the biscuit. I'm ready to go right up around the outside and cut the corner real tight. Hit me if you want to. I'm willing to crash for this one. I'm gonna cut right across the nose, and then at the last second, bow out, and then there we go. He spun out. I'll see you later. Don't you ever challenge me. That puts us up to P18, P6 in class, which is where we finished sprint number 1. Skipping ahead now to the start of sprint number 2. Time for the green flag. We are starting in, I think, P28 out of 33 total cars again. Hopefully no mechanical failures this time. Hate to see a big wreck like that at the start of such a short race. Headed into turn 1 now. Got cars about 85 wide in front of us, so I'm keeping my eyes in front. We sneak up the inside of the McLaren. Got the Lambro on the inside of us there, Mr. Fender. Mr. Pinio, the old Canadian gamer, tries to sneak his stupid Porsche up the inside of us, but I say no, sir. Get right back up alongside my Lamborghini friend here. But the inside of the turn is theirs for the taking, so we are back side by side with that stupid Porsche again. Mr. Pinio, hopefully he doesn't crash into us here, and he does not. We get the inside of this turn. And now we are single file, thank freaking goodness. This is about the time that I remember that bullcrap pass that he pulled on us at this exact turn coming up here. So I cover the inside and I say, no sir, Mr. Pinio, you stay behind me. And now I feel sort of pinned to the inside line. It feels like it would be unwise to move my car back out there. And this is about the time when I realize, hey, I might have a window here on this this Lamborghini of Mr. Fender. And thankfully he doesn't cut across us. We make the move, we make it stick. We're up in position, and now we're on the tail of Mr. Flores in his white McLaren. And we stayed on his tail for about 8 minutes. If we skip ahead now, lap number 6, final turn, Mr. Flores is gonna set it just a little bit wide. And we're gonna shoot right up the inside, make for a nice, easy, smooth pass. We're gonna give him room to rejoin the circuit, of course, because we don't want to get slammed into mostly. That's really the only reason. After making the pass on Mr. Flores, took me about 9 minutes to catch up to the next group of cars. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to that. Here we are, 11 minutes to go, headed into the final turn. Looks like the Mercedes has a bit of trouble on exit there. Slows both of them down, which is going to allow me to get a bit of a run. Going to get into the draft here for just a moment. Going to go ahead and poke my big, ugly, bald head right at the inside of this Ferrari. And then I'm going to say, maybe not. There's still 10 minutes to go. I think I can get you later. And we're going to go ahead through turn 1 nice and smooth, but the Ferrari not so nice and smooth. And we're going to go ahead and apply some pressure from the outside. And Ferrari's just going to miss the braking point. We're going to sneak right up the inside. Easy position gained. And what's that? The Mercedes is off circuit. What's that? He's bouncing around. What's that? He's off on the right side now. What's that? He's still got the inside of this turn though. Hell of a job to Mr. Felker there for getting that car back under control. For the next 8 minutes, we followed Mr. Felker around in his Mercedes. He's just waiting for a mistake. And if we skip ahead now to the 2-minute mark, it's finally gonna happen. Headed into the challenging right-hander. No idea what it's called. I just call it the challenging right-hander. Off into the sand he goes. We're going to be able to sneak our way up the inside here, headed into the final turn, a little bit offline. Mercedes turns in a little bit early there, almost turns into me, but he does not, and that's the move stuck, puts us up into P19, which was good enough for P5 in class. If we skip ahead to the end, that is where we finished. And that is it for today's action. I will be back soon with the highlights from round 6 at Circuit of the Americas. As always, thank you so much for watching Slow to Pro. I'm Dale Robin Jr. III. You guys have the kind of day you want to have.